Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Trainee Diaries. My name is Sinead Fox-Hamilton and I'm from Chartered Accountants Ireland, and I am talking to some of our ACA students about their training experiences. Today I am delighted because we have Clara and we have Alex and Padraig from Hill Vellacott. Guys, welcome. Thank you so much for coming along and agreeing to chat to me today. I hope you're all keeping well. I am really excited to get to know you guys a bit more and for you to share your stories with some of our viewers and followers. So why don't we do a bit of a virtual round the room and some introductions, if you don't mind. So Clara, I'm going to pick on you first. Would you, I suppose, give us a sense who you are, a bit of an introduction, and I'd also love to know, how did you get into the profession?
So I'm Clara. I'm currently studying Cap 2, and I work in the Accounts and Audit Department here at Hill Vellacott. I came to be part of Chartered Accountant Ireland through the ATI route. So I left school after A level and decided to go straight into accountancy, working full time with obviously day release to study. It's quite an interesting one. I always wanted to do fashion, and then in the space of about 2 weeks over careers talks, I totally changed my mind and decided, you know what, let's be an accountant. So I was actually lucky enough to have the chance to study accountancy for A level, and at that time, I hadn't a clue. Like, I could answer the questions, but I didn't really understand it. But I was determined to stick with it, and I did plan to go to uni to study accountancy, but just having sat my exams and got closer to results day, I just knew that if I was going to do accountancy, I needed to do it physically as opposed to sitting in the classroom and learn it that way, So that's how I've ended up here. I've just decided to take the bull by the horns and get stuck straight in, and it's led me to being in Cap 2.
Brilliant, fantastic. I love that. And so different, obviously, to flip from fashion into accountancy, but good woman yourself. Brilliant. Right, Padraig, what about you? A bit of an introduction and your own pathway in would be great to hear.
My introduction isn't going to be as exciting as Clara's there. I wasn't that big into the fashion, but for me, introduction, my name is Padraig. I'm assistant manager here at Hill Vellacott. I just passed FEE, so I'm on the way out of my training contract. I think I've what a month left to see a dairy, and that's me done. But for me, not that exciting. Just at school, with different career teachers and stuff, and talking to them about what I'm interested in and my strengths. It was a recurring theme that accountancy was coming up, or was one of the options, and went to university, studied accountancy, and it was there I sort of cemented the notion that I wanted to go on and become a chartered accountant, and thankfully here I am today.
Brilliant. No, but I love that as well. The direct route, you knew early doors, and in you came and you followed through the third level pathway. And I love the variety here today as well, which is great. So good man yourself, Padraig. And last but not least, Alex, what about you? A bit of an intro and then your own pathway in would be lovely to hear.
Hi, I'm Alex. I did the same kind of route as Clara with the ATI route. How I got into it was during work experience in lower sixth. I came to Hill Vellacott and I enjoyed it, and over the summer I thought I'll be a bit more proactive and did an extra couple of weeks in Hill Vellacott work experience and thought it'll be great for a CV, and that's where our training manager told me about the apprenticeship because I hadn't a clue what I was going to do after school. So I thought it's probably what I'd love to do. I know coming exam wise I'm not getting A's and A stars, but I can work and I know I can work. So I thought if I can work and study at the same time, it's perfect. And it wasn't an option in school. Probably 99% of people in my year went to uni, and it was weird to do an apprenticeship and it was strange. But when you told the teachers about it, they're like, that's a really smart idea. Why isn't everyone else doing it? And then it was just a smart idea to continue on to chartered. So I'm a junior tax advisor, so I'll be doing my elective in tax when it comes to my final year.
Brilliant. Oh, great. Another really fascinating story coming in from school and working through obviously our sister body, ATI, and then onwards to chartered. So it's so good actually that you're highlighting that you can come in from any of those backgrounds, because sometimes people just think you have to have an accounting degree. You can have any degree, or indeed you can come from ATI. Now, what I'd love to know a bit more about, folks, is your day jobs. What do you actually get up to? Clara, can I go back to you? Can you tell me a bit about the day job? What do you get up to?
Well, every day is kind of different for me. jack of all trades, master of none, some may say. But so 1 week I could be working on a set of accounts for a farmer with a few cows, and the week after I could be working on an audit for a company with millions in turnover. So really there is just no limits. Today, for example, I was doing a stock take, and later on I'll be going to do some VAT. So it really is a vast area that I'm learning. But I like that because I do know some people that work in other firms, and they have their set clients and they work with them all year round. And I just know, to me, seeing loads of different entities and how they all operate really fascinates me. And I feel like I get more out of my chartered learning because I'm seeing loads of different aspects. Because obviously in chartered you have like several different subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting a wee taste of everything, it's quite good. So day to day, it's just whatever needs done.
No 2 days are the same for you.
No, definitely not.
And Padraig, what about you? What's your day job like?
Me, quite similar to Clara before, or maybe 12 months ago. That was one thing with training at Hill Vellacott. You had great exposure to so many different industries and different pathways. Within the last 12 months, well, more so 6, I'm picking up more of a managerial role. I was going from preparing financial statements, now reviewing them, being the point of contact for clients, just general sort of managerial stuff. But I'm still sort of doing the odd bit of accounts work, audit senior, and then most recently doing a bit of forensic accounting and corporate finance, which has been really interesting, especially forensic. It was something different, not something we cover with the institute, but something that obviously it's very interesting. But,
Oh, but again, another sort of varied role, and as you say, even evolving still, as you continue on your journey. Brilliant. Alex, what about you?
I kind of started off in accounts and ended up in tax, and I completely love it. And one day I could be working on 12 different clients. It could be VAT, it could be CT, it could be personal, and like Clara said, it could just be a farmer with a couple of cows. Next thing is it's a massive company. There's just no in between. You're on everything, and it's just really interesting, and I love it.
Definitely.
Like January just happened there, and tax season's really busy, and this is the first day off I've had in about a month, but I love the chaos of it all.
Well, that's what we're saying. You've definitely been busy, no doubt of late. Alex was being in the tax team, but you can see obviously it's an area that you're passionate about and you enjoy, and that is the beauty actually of accounting. There's so many different facets that maybe folk don't realise, and you can gravitate towards some, or actually, like Clara, do a bit of everything and enjoy that, which is great. Now, one thing I often get asked about, and I understand the question, having sort of walked the walk myself, if somebody's coming from a completely unrelated background, they've never had a taster of accounting or indeed an office environment before, what's it actually like in those early days? What are those first few weeks like? Are you just thrown in the deep end, or do you come in? Are you supported? Is there training and such? Clara, how did you find it?
Well, so obviously my first weekend here, I was straight out of school, which was very scary because you go from this environment where, there was mom and dad all the time, or teachers, and you have your timetable and you're here, there, and people are always chasing you to this world. Like, okay, you have to get to work by yourself and feed yourself and work yourself and get home by yourself. Like, it is a big step. My first week was, because I had accountancy A level, I sort of felt like I should have known something. Like I felt quite under pressure, like, oh flip, everyone's going to be questioning me, like I feel like I should know, but it's not like that at all. I mean, we're lucky in Hill Vellacott that majority of us have come through the training path, so everyone can relate to each other, and everyone knows what it feels like to not really know what you're doing. And as I said, there's that much going on, you can't really be expected to know everything all the time. So my first week was a bit chaos, just trying to get my head around everything. But what was actually good about it was I probably could have, by the end of that week, I probably could have sat my accountancy A level over again, because everything just clicked, because everything was explained so differently in an actual real world way. Whereas in a classroom, it's like, paper and T accounts. Whereas when you see it on screen, on Sage or whatever, it all just clicks in place. So it was actually my first week, as scary as it was actually really, really good. Very enjoyable, and just everyone was so helpful. And I think that's an important thing to remember, is there always is someone to help you, you know, and you don't have to know everything, no matter what background you came from.
Yes, it definitely is. Support is there.
Yeah.
Padraig, yourself?
Yeah, the first few weeks for me, because I came from an accountancy background at university, you know, it wasn't the worst. But again, there wasn't a lot of pressure put on us. Here at Hill Vellacott, the first 2 weeks, you're brought into the boardroom and you're literally re-taught double entry. And you go through, maybe the first week it's all double entry, and then the second week you literally go through a full set of accounts, what to expect. You know, when things aren't balancing, don't panic. You know, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, no, it was brilliant. Not too mad. Like, you know, you're just weaned in, you know, nice and easy. It's not an overwhelming, you know, and we have great people here at Hill Vellacott that are incredibly helpful. You know, even if you do have any questions, you know, there's no question silly enough. You know, everyone's willing to help. You know,
And that makes all the difference, that sort of peer-to-peer support as well. What about you, Alex?
It's the same as the other two. Hill Vellacott's known for training people so well. So if you're stuck, I just pop my head up. I'm like, Clara, can you explain this to me?
I don't know either.
We're always there to help each other. That's the good thing. And we have a new trainee in as well, who's kind of 2 years below me. And I always tell him, like, if you're stuck, just ask for help. We're all here to teach each other, and we're all learning. No one knows everything. We're all here to teach each other. So it can be daunting when you come into an office straight out of school, because you know it's such an adult thing. You're straight out of school, and it can be kind of scary. But within the first few weeks, you've made your friends. You're able to ask for help. It isn't as scary, because we're all in the same boat. We've all been there. We've all done that. We all know what everyone's going through. But it can be daunting at first, but after a couple of weeks, you just feel comfortable, and it's easy to ask for help, and everyone's willing to help you as well.
Real team environment.
Definitely.
Well, folks, the reality is you're working and you're studying. How is that? Clara, is it tough to juggle it all?
I was lucky in Cap 1 because I had my exemptions from ATI. So last year I only had management and finance. So juggling 2 subjects was fine. This year has been a shock to the system with now 4 subjects at Cap 2. But the key really is just to keep on top of it, you know, do the reading before lectures and go to the lectures and ask the questions and do your, you know, practice questions. You just do need to keep on top of it. But I mean, as well as that, like, we're all human. I know for me, I was keeping on top of everything until December, and then that was quite a busy month for me. So it just wasn't realistic to keep on top of study as well when you were just eating, breathing, sleeping, accountancy all day, every day. So it is, you know, you want to get in there early and keep on top of it, so that in the event of, for me, December being busy, or the likes of Alex, January being busy, that you can take a step back. But if you keep on top of it, it is manageable, and it has been for me. And like, I'm not any straight A star student, you know, I've always had to revise to do well in exams. So I mean, I've got through Cap 1 fine, and Cap 2 seems to be understandable at the minute. So yeah, it really is just taking it as it comes and staying on top of it.
Yeah, being organised.
Yeah.
Padraig, what about you?
Yeah, it's a funny one. You know, I think you would think it's a lot harder than it actually is. You know, because in fairness, the institute are brilliant. You know, all the materials online. If you can't make a class, you know, it's there to view. You know, in fairness, if there are any ever issues, you give them an email. You know, they're always getting back to you. You know, maybe come exam time with pressure of work and stuff, it does get a bit much. But I mean, thankfully, you know, the institute recommend, you know, a few weeks study leave, which does be a great help. Once you get it, you know, you'd be fine. I always took maybe an extra week of annual leave before my study leave is due to start, just to sort of get organised, get everything printed if I hadn't done it during the year, which I probably should have had. But just to sort of get everything printed and then, you know, get ready. But yeah, it was great having peers here that obviously, you know, that had went before us. You know, you come here after you study leave. I was handed about 16 files of notes, you know, and it was the same, Clara, you'll be getting it now soon enough, all my Cap 2 stuff. but yeah, no, it's not the worst. As long as you've got the help and support, which you will if you're with the institute, you know, it's no issues.
And Alex, yourself, your early doors in it all?
Yeah, I was pretty much the same as Clara. I had the exemptions coming in from ATI, so I only had 2 to balance, and because this is the first year of online learning, it was something you had to deal with differently. Of how do you go to lectures online? It's a bit different, but the good thing is everything was pre-recorded, so I can just come home from work and do a couple parts of a topic every night, or make sure I block off a Saturday, and everything's pre-recorded. So if you weren't sure on something, you can go back and re-watch it until you understand it. There's walkthrough of questions, and it makes it really helpful. And obviously, come January, I was up to my eyes working every day, so I was a wee bit behind. But I've taken a couple of days off to help catch up on it. It isn't like it's daunting. There's too much to do. You can always catch up on it. But the way the institute have set everything out, it couldn't be easier to learn it all online. You just have to have the computer and a piece of paper, and away you learn.
So a bit of discipline, a bit of organisation, and there's still time for life and work and all that good stuff, but a bit of planning, a bit of graft over a couple of years, and it's all worth it in the long run, guys.
Right.
Before we finish up, folks, I'd love to know your final thoughts in terms of if somebody was considering the career path, what would you say to them? Would you have any hints or tips, or would you recommend it? Clara, back to you.
Well, my experience so far has been great. Like, I couldn't recommend this route more. I think just in general, accountancy and Chartered Accountants Ireland is just a great qualification to have. You know, if you're not even sure what you want to do, it is a great skill. And I know, having spoke to friends that I went to school with, maybe went and studied business or are sort of looking to get into that route now, they're all saying about how knowing even basic accountancy is so helpful. Mm. So yeah, they're all kind of envious if that doesn't convince everyone enough. But yeah, my experience so far has been great. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm quite excited to see what the future brings post Chartered Accountants Ireland studying. So and I know that there's always going to be someone there in the institute to sort of take us along the way and give us advice and help where we need to. So that's also really reassuring.
No, absolutely. I think sometimes there's not the appreciation there in terms of understanding when you're looking at this career. You get a lifelong career partner out of it as well when you become a member. So, if you ever need navigation support or help along the way, as you evolve through your career, the institute's always there, not just teaching you at the very start. Padraig, what about you? What would you say to somebody considering it?
Me, yeah, couldn't recommend it higher or enough. Just because you've went and done your accountancy exams doesn't necessarily mean you need to become or practice as a chartered accountant. It's often you would say, I think you'd be surprised with how many successful businessmen have, previously went and started as training as an accountant. It does give you a great sort of knowledge and understanding of business and how business operates. So from that aspect, it's a win-win. Like, you're getting a great qualification, brilliant knowledge, and it does set you up nicely.
Do you know what? It's interesting you say that. Surprisingly, it's actually like 65% of chartered accountant members are out working in business. I think everybody assumes they're in practice now. What I would say is a lot train in practice. A lot of students are working in practice. But as you rightly said, so many business leaders have come the chartered path. So good man yourself. I didn't even plant that with you. You just said that of your own accord. Alex, what about you? What would you say?
Oh, completely. I've recommended it to a couple of my friends. A couple of my friends went to do law, and same as Clara went to do fashion, and now asking me, like, well, what's chartered like? Could I do well in it? I'm like, yes. And when I came to do tax, I was like, will I do my tax or I will do chartered? And chartered opens a lot more doors because you can specialize again after. By just having chartered alone, you have your foot in so many doors and you have so many opportunities from just this one qualification alone, and you can go on and qualify afterwards. But I kind of thought, I'd rather have chartered under my belt because it opens so many doors and I have so many opportunities I can take from that. So that's why I've told so many friends, like, do it. Even if you don't want to do it after a while, at least you have something under your belt you can say that you've done, and you get 3 years of experience. It's amazing.
Amazing. What a note to end on. We'll have to get you on board as a brand ambassador there. You're already out recommended. Well, here, guys, I'm loving the positivity, you know, and obviously, you know, I'm learning about you guys just coming on and meeting you today, and you know, I'm delighted to see how positive the experience has been. And you're right, it does, it opens doors. It's hard work now, but it's all worth it in the end. And you can travel or you can move sector and, you know, move roles, you know, tax, whatever, forensics, audit accounts. So, guys, thank you so much for sharing all those varied experiences. I loved hearing it all, and I really appreciate your time. So thanks again, and take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.